What's up, everybody? Today I'm gonna make a video talking about my 2022 KLX110RL and how to set it up if you're an adult trying to ride it. So basically I picked this thing up not too long ago. It was basically all stock except for the bars, and it has a Yoshimura pipe on it right here. So basically those were the only two things that it had when I bought the bike. And from there, so I was researching it, pretty much just had to look up into most things about the foot pegs. So this one, I got the foot pegs off of TB Parts, TboltUSA, and I got the straight peg bar also from them. They come in a kit, so you can kind of get both together. I think it's like 200 bucks, and then you have to put the pedals or the peg, onto the peg bar. And then I also got the cradle underneath that, and the cradle bolts the peg bar right up in it. You can see right there. And then it also has two giant bolts on the back, and I'll show you that. And so it bolts underneath, and then it also bolts right there as well. So that's where the cradle bolts, so those two right there, those two holes in the frame. And the reason for that is because normally the stock foot pegs, they bolt straight to the engine case underneath, and they don't have those two bolts bracing it in the back. So if you're a bigger rider, what happens is you ride it and you can just completely break the foot pegs and the mount straight out of the frame. And then, yeah, you gotta basically swap the cases out. It's just a bad day. So always want to make sure those are tight. After that, I got the case saver on there from Fasterminis right here. I got the shift shaft brace, which that's another thing you'll need, because you can bend the shift shaft pretty easily. And if you look underneath, you can kind of see it right there. Doesn't give it a lot of free play to just be kind of hanging there. It basically braces the whole thing. I got a fold-in shifter right here, and I got a thicker skid plate. They said that these foot pegs and peg bar would work with the stock skid plate, but this one would work a little better because it's a little thicker. So I ended up upgrading all three. What I would suggest is to get the foot peg straight bar with the peg, that kit, and then get the cradle from TboltUSA, which is that. And then also, this is the Kinetic MX skid plate. You can see it right there, Kinetic MX. And that would be basically the setup that you need as an adult to ride this thing without breaking the foot pegs out of the engine case. I got this just because, why not? If it's on its side, it folds, and it's also way lighter than stock. On the other side, I ended up getting a over-the-top brake lever from SICK110, and that you can get from Fasterminis as well. I also got a Kickstart eliminator cap, so the Kickstarter doesn't get stuck on your pants. It's only a downside though, is if you're stuck on a trail and you can't get out. That would be the only downside, because pretty much from there it's kind of you're kind of screwed unless you bump start it down a hill. But I don't really go too far out, so it kind of works for me. This Yoshi pipe right here is pretty nice. It came already on the bike, which was cool. I feel like it gives it a lot more bottom end. I got a BBR Tall Seat, and this actually helped out a lot. It's way stiffer than stock and kind of makes you feel a little, well, obviously taller on the bike. Gives you a better center of gravity, and there's less ways you got to go to stand up from being seated, so it's easier in that sense when you need to stand up for a jump. I got the BBR Gas Cap billet aluminum with the vent tube on it, and these right here, if you could see them, yeah, these are some Pro Taper bars, I believe. They were also already on the bike, yeah. And then a Pro Taper top clamp too. You can kind of see right there. So yeah, and I mean, this bike shreds. So that's pretty much the setup right there. That's basically everything, and pretty easy to install it all yourself, honestly. It took me a little while, but I don't have a lot of room, so I mean, it worked out in the end. It's kind of fun. You get to learn something. Now I'm going to go into basically what I'm going to do to this bike next. So from here on out, basically the suspension is stock. It's a little bit stiffer over just the R model, because this is the RL, so it's taller, it's got the hand clutch. And from here, I feel like the front suspension is a little bit soft on this bike. With this bike, basically, when I push on the front, I feel like it dives a lot. I don't like that. I like a stiffer setup just because it's easier to kind of jump off the lip. You don't feel like when you go off the lip, you're just going to nosedive. That's how I feel with the soft suspension. I feel like it's not predictable. I'd rather be the one that's predicting the jumps a little more and just use my legs as suspension, not really rely on, you know, it to think for me. But basically, yeah, these are pretty stock. I'm pretty sure it's a stock spring in there. Also, they have like this squeak to them. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but like, yeah, I don't know if you could hear that, but so I don't know if that's normal or not. Let me know in the comments if you think you know what that is, because I would love to know. I think it's just the stock springs rubbing the fork tubes, or it could be that it's low on fluid. But I think what I'm gonna do is probably put some BBR heavy duty springs in there and BBR dampening rods, and that's what I would do to the front. The rear shock, I honestly kind of like the stock one, and in order to actually get to the whole thing, you have to take apart all the plastics. You got to take the battery out, you got to take everything apart, all the wiring harnesses, just to get to the rear shock. So honestly, the rear shock is pretty good, has about an inch of sag to it when I sit on it, and I mean, that's pretty good. It's just the front that feels divey, and you can even see right here the line that it's diving to. It's like right, almost right there, or like right there when I'm going over stuff. So I mean, that's pretty deep. I think it's probably like right here. But other than that, I'm gonna do the brakes, brake pads, and at some point some tires. But this thing's basically complete to me. I'm not gonna do any motor work. I like the reliability of these engines. I don't feel like I need to go much faster at the moment. You know, maybe I will at some point, but I feel like right now I don't really want to do that. So yeah, I mean, this bike's a lot of fun. And basically these are all the basic setup that you would need if you were an adult trying to ride this bike, so that you don't break the bike and that it's also comfortable for you. I would say if you get a bike like this, or like a newer KLX, the L, I would say you're gonna end up spending between like about maybe like another $1,200 on top of it if it's fully stocked, to get it set up between the bars and the pipe, and then all the other little things that I just showed you. So another thing that I was gonna do too, one last thing, would probably be the chain, but for now it's fine. I'm gonna get a BBR chain though at some point. But yeah, it's good, clean title. If you guys think you know what that fork sound is, let me know. I tried to clean all the seals, and I took the brake apart to see if it was, and I sanded any glazing that was on the brake pads. That didn't do anything. I cleaned all that out, all the brake stuff out. It makes the noise a little louder when I am pressing on the brake while I push it down. I don't know if that makes a difference, but overall I'm not complaining. It doesn't affect how I ride at all, and this is still a great bike. And yeah, guys, I mean, I also got another bike too, a CRF 70. So let me know if you guys want a video on that one. It's kind of a beater. It's pretty clapped out. You'll see what I mean. But overall, I mean, she gets the job done. That thing runs. I've jumped it off some stuff too. So I guess, yeah, we'll call it right here. And thanks, guys. Please sub if you haven't. Like and subscribe. Thank y'all. Peace.